The hospital waiting room was quieter than usual that evening. Fluorescent lights hummed softly overhead, and the air smelled faintly of coffee and worry. In the corner, on a row of faded blue chairs, sat a mother and her 7-year-old son. He clung to her side like a small koala, one arm wrapped tight around her waist, the other clutching a worn stuffed bear that had lost one eye long ago. Her name was Sophia. She was 32, but the past few weeks had added years no calendar could count. Her little boy, Matteo, had been in and out of this children's hospital for months. Tests, scans, words no parent ever wants to hear. Tonight they were waiting for results that would decide everything. Sophia kept stroking Matteo's dark curls, the same gentle rhythm she used when he was a baby, and the world still felt safe. He hadn't spoken much since the last round of treatment. His cheeks were pale, his eyes too big for his face, but he never let go of her. Across the room sat an older man in a simple green sweater. His name was Luis. He was 68, a grandfather whose own grandson had once fought the same battle on these very floors. Luis came every Thursday evening now, not as a visitor, but as someone who understood the particular kind of silence that fills a waiting room at dusk. He had noticed Sophia and Matteo the moment they walked in. He saw the way she kept her coat on even though the room was warm. He saw the way Matteo's legs dangled without touching the floor. And he saw the envelope on Sophia's lap, the one from the billing department, thick with numbers she couldn't pay. Every few minutes Sophia would lean down and whisper something into Matteo's ear. Luis was close enough to hear it this time. "We'll trust in miracles, mi amor," she murmured, so softly it was almost a prayer. "God sees us. He always sees us." Matteo nodded against her side, trusting in a way only children can. Luis felt something move inside his chest, an ache that was equal parts memory and mercy. He remembered his wife whispering the same words years ago, holding their grandson the same way, trusting the same miracles until the very end. He stood quietly, walked to the vending area, and bought 2 hot chocolates, one regular, one with extra marshmallows because he remembered little boys like that. Then he walked over and stood in front of Sophia and Matteo, gentle as a breeze. "Excuse me," he said softly. "My name is Luis. I couldn't help noticing your little one might like something warm." Sophia looked up, startled, ready to refuse. But Matteo lifted his head and looked at the steaming cup with the mountain of marshmallows. His eyes grew round. "For me," he whispered. Luis smiled. "For both of you," he said, "if it's all right with your mom." Sophia's eyes filled so quickly she had to blink hard. "Thank you," she managed. "That's very kind." Luis pulled over a chair and sat, not too close, just close enough to be company instead of intrusion. Matteo took a careful sip and left a tiny marshmallow mustache that made him giggle for the first time in weeks. For a while no one spoke. Then Sophia said, very quietly, "We're waiting for results." Luis nodded like he already knew. "I've waited in these chairs before," he said. "My grandson, Carlos, he fought hard. Real hard." Sophia looked at him, understanding passing between them without needing details. Luis reached into his pocket and pulled out a small wooden rosary, smooth from years of prayer. He placed it gently in Sophia's hand. "My wife carried this every day Carlos was sick," he said. "She said it helped her remember she wasn't praying alone." Sophia closed her fingers around it. Fresh tears slipped down her cheeks, but she was smiling now. "Thank you," she whispered again, and this time her voice didn't shake. Matteo looked up at Luis with serious eyes. "Are you an angel?" he asked. Luis laughed, soft and surprised. "No, Mijo. Just a grandpa who learned miracles sometimes wear green sweaters." An hour later the doctor came out with a folder and a smile that reached his eyes. The treatment was working. The numbers were moving in the right direction. There was hope. Real, solid, beautiful hope. Sophia stood and hugged the doctor, then turned and hugged Luis like he was family she'd known forever. Mateo wrapped his arms around Luis's legs and refused to let go until Luis knelt down and received the stickiest, sweetest hug of his life. Before they left for the night, Luis pressed something else into Sophia's hand, an envelope. Inside was enough money to cover the next 3 months of bills and a note that simply read, "For the miracles still coming. You never prayed alone. A friend who sat beside you tonight." 6 months later, Mateo was running in the hospital courtyard, cheeks pink and full, chasing bubbles with other children who had also decided to stay. Sophia walked beside Luis every Thursday evening now, pushing Mateo's old stroller filled with homemade cookies for the other waiting families. They always saved 3 blue chairs in the corner. Sometimes new mothers sat there, holding scared children, whispering the same words Sophia once had. And every time, Luis would stand, buy 2 hot chocolates, one with extra marshmallows, and walk over with the gentlest smile. People still talk about the night a little boy clung to his mother's side, and she murmured, "We'll trust in miracles." They say if you sit quietly in that waiting room on a Thursday evening, you can almost hear it again, a small voice asking if someone is an angel. A mother learning her prayers were always heard, and kindness answering softly, "I was sent to sit with you tonight." Sometimes the greatest miracles don't shout from the rooftops. They sit quietly beside you in green sweaters, holding hot chocolate, and hope until the good news finally comes. If this story wrapped around your heart the way it did mine, share it with someone who's waiting on their own miracle right now. And the next time you see a mother and child clinging to each other in a hard place, maybe you'll be the one brave enough to bring 2 cups of something warm and stay a while.